Okay, that was quick. We'll go with Frederick. You are a speaker. Frederick, you're muted if you're trying to speak.
Hi, can everybody hear me?
Yeah,
yep, I can hear you.
Yeah, so Chris, what if you don't pay the fine and run TFL in other country? Is that a possibility or not?
No, that's not an option.
Like you can't possibly pay 4.5 billion as well, right? That is just not possible.
Right. So like the headline number is different than what like the number that actually ends up getting paid, right? So like what Rio was saying, like 4.5 billion, it should have been a couple hundred million or less. Like it doesn't matter. There's not that much money, right? So it doesn't matter if it's like 150 million or 200 trillion, right? Like if you don't have the money, you don't have the money.
Okay, then I guess. Well, I hope there's someone else that can run TFL, run Terra in the future.
Well, yeah. Look. There's no TFL is dead, guys. Like that's the point, and because we lost the trial, right? And so TFL is being shut down, completely wound down. So no one is going to run TFL. Like by the end of the year, TFL won't exist. What needs to happen now is Terra, the ecosystem, has to try to find another team. If it wants to continue to survive, it has to try to find another team who can maintain it and build it, right?
Okay, we're going to bring up another... Andre, you are up. No, you're up. You're muted if you're speaking.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you, Andre.
Okay. Hey, Chris. Yeah, not really the result we wanted, but yeah, it is what it is. I guess we all tried, and I want to ask you one question, which is, so you mentioned that the tokens need to be burned, more in relation to Luna Classic and UST Classic. I guess I'll be direct. So TFL had bought Astro, right? What does that mean for the Astro that TFL owns?
Yeah, so for the Astro tokens, I think what they would probably do is contact you guys and see if there's some kind of OTC deal if you want to buy those back. I don't think they're going to burn. If anything that has value, they're not going to burn. But I don't think they're not going to just dump them on the market and do anything crazy either. So. They would probably try to find. I assume the trust will try to find some kind of OTC deal to sell those back to someone who wants them. Yeah.
Is the trust controlled by the SEC by any means, or is?
I think it would be it would be controlled by the bankruptcy trust.
Gotcha. Okay. So, but it is kind of SEC sanctioned sale. Because my question is essentially the trust would be selling and register security in a sense.
Yeah.
So either Astro.
It's a complicated thing. Yes.
So Astro is the first securities register.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's there's a little bit of conflict conceptually between what has to happen now.
Gotcha. Yeah. I know.
Yeah. I don't know if I would say SEC sanctions. I actually don't know exactly how it's going to play out. We have to figure all that stuff out still.
It would be a great meme, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that was essentially the question, and I want to leave by thank you for everything you did and you tried after everything that happened. It's like it was a ridiculous explosion, and TFL was still running. Still, things looked like we could be, or the chain could be something even after everything. And knowing you a little bit more closely, I know you gave it all. Some people don't know, or I think people sometimes don't understand how hard it is to run these types of things. And obviously you need to be very legal conservative. I can speak for myself, and I know it's super hard. So community always wants more transparency, but we can always give what we can give, obviously. But yeah, so thank you.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. Look, I can sleep at night, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
If you've never woken up in the morning and seen that, your founder and boss got arrested in Montenegro, then it's kind of hard to understand what it's like to go through that. I know Rio said that a bunch of people left. Actually, no one left. We held the entire team together, and we fought all the way through the trial. We built interesting products. It's always the anonymous guys who want you to be the toughest and ignore the law. It's never the people who are building with their real name out there.
Exactly.
So yeah, you know how it is because you have to do it yourself, right? It's hard.
Yep.
So did the best we could. Like I said, I think we failed. We lost the trial, right? And that's all that mattered. But we did the best we could. Given kind of insane circumstances. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
One from the chat. Are you still developing Station Wallet? How about its users?
We're not, right? So we're looking for a home for Station Wallet. I think we're doing some minor development on it, just to get it ready for a potential acquisition. But yeah, I think barring an acquisition, I think it's going to be shut down when the company shuts down.
Okay, so next up we have Abu. Oh, you've been waiting for a while, so Abu. Okay, Abu, you're up. Unmute. Ask your question. Still muted, Abu, if you're asking something. Okay, we'll get somebody else up here. If his mic starts working, then he can say something then. JG. All right, yep,
I don't think
JG, what's going on?
he doesn't have the speaker. Or wait, there he is.
Yeah. JG, unmute and ask your question.
I still have him as a listener, not a speaker.
It's popped up on this end. Twitter infra.
Okay.
GM, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? Sad meeting day. Sad, just a little sad moment. Everything in hindsight is always 2020. We can always clearly see, where maybe we should have taken a different step. Your job and what the shoes you tried to fill, extremely difficult. I'm not even sure. I don't think most people even understand. I think a few key takeaways here are maybe we should always build anonymously. I think that's number one. I think being a company is the wrong thing in a lot of ways in this industry, and we got hammered for using your real names. Now, I also have a question. So TFL, some TFL employees and Do Kwon, is it accurate that the SEC is saying you guys are not allowed to have Web3 exposure anymore? And And how are they allowed to enforce that? Again, like Do Kwon's not an American citizen, so what the fuck does America have anything to do with the situation? And I'm just a little bit let down. I really do feel like there should have been more fight, and regardless of the name or whatever, the capitulation was just not really cool. You know?
Yeah,
That's my only complaint.
Do you mean with the appeal? Like,
Yeah,
that was a point
yeah.
Rio brought up that I didn't address either. Like, why didn't you guys appeal? Why didn't you fight? You want me to give you I'll give you the answer
Yeah.
on that.
Please.
Yeah, so we could have, right? What we were faced with was a pretty severe conduct injunction coming down, right? And so after we lost, we were at a point where like any single moment, we could have been hit with a conduct injunction that would have kept us from being able to do anything in Web3. We were also evaluating like the probabilities of winning on appeal and how long it would take to do that. And so what you had to evaluate, you had to kind of rationally evaluate is like, what happens if you get a conduct injunction where you have to shut down operations completely? And then what does it look like? And then how long are you shut down while you appeal? And so what we were looking at was within a week after the trial, or a couple of weeks, a few weeks at the longest, we could have gotten a conduct injunction to just shut everything down. So everyone's trapped on enterprise. You can't migrate. You can't do anything, right? No one has time to build a new alliance front end so people can do what they need to do there, right? And then appeal timeline was looking like 2 to 3 years. And it was impossible for me to make a rational case that I could like hold our team together through that. You can stay here, build for 3 years, and then at the end you might get to launch something. I think it would have killed our products. I think it would have killed Pulsar, which didn't feel ethical to me. They would have just been trapped in this thing. And so I think it would have hurt the community even more than what's going to happen today. At least now you guys have a chance to restart and find a new team. And so like it was really important to me. Also, no one would have known what would have happened to the Luna, right? So what I tried to do was like, faced with what seemed like impossible odds on an appeal, it would have felt emotionally good, right? We're going to fight. We're going to fight for years. But practically speaking, it wasn't feasible, right? And it would have been more painful. It would have, Terra, the ecosystem and the community would have just been stuck in the mud for years longer, waiting for this to get resolved. Our products would have died. Some of them might die anyway, right? But some of them are going to get to live. There's an entire team in Portugal building an amazing product that I want to see the light of day. I wanted a chance for people to offboard if they needed to. I wanted a chance for an orderly transition. And so like, that was the math. I haven't been able to share that with anyone. And so I understand why people are frustrated, right? Like, I don't take any of this personally at this point. But we tried to make the right decision for the community and for the company. And there's just, we did hold, we held the team together through all of this, right? I'm like not even offended by Rio. Like I'm proud of what we did. I'm proud of what we accomplished. I'm proud of like the resilience of the team. But to try to ask them to do it again, like it just wasn't it wasn't feasible. People have careers, they have families, they have lives. This was the end, and trying to lock in for a 3-year slog that you might end up losing at the end of anyway, just wasn't feasible. So I think it's better this way. Things can happen orderly. There can be, there's always this idea that Doe had that TFL would need to disappear. TFL was always meant to disappear at some point, and the community was meant to take over. And so that kind of stuck with me, and I thought this would be the right, and it wasn't just me, like the board, everyone, our team, we had to talk to the team. Does the team want to stick around? Does the team feel viable? Can I even hold the team together? And we thought this was actually a fairly elegant solution to, burn the Luna. The money from TFL goes back to, I think will primarily go back to people who held Luna in the first place. and everyone will have a chance to have like an orderly wind down, and a new leadership structure would be able to step up in place of TFL.
The only thing I could say is, Pulsar's. I think Pulsar, because of their team, they should. I don't know why that Station Wallet's not bundled in with the Pulsar team as that sale, but Enterprise, there's no token, there's no revenue generation. Its really only value is the community building aspect of it, and I think it was a mistake not to put that on the balance sheet of assets going to people who don't give a shit about us. Really, fuck these creditors. To be honest. They all could have sold at $80 or whatever. Nobody told them this. It doesn't matter. I don't want to go off some tangent, but I think Enterprise.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Enterprise is something that should have not gone to them. I think that's really. I feel like that was ours. That was ours. Not back. I'm talking about ours. I'm talking about ours as like.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean.
Yeah,
community.
Yeah.
Look, I think like if there's a viable path taking that over, I think you should like if the community wants to take it over, I think they have a seat at the table, is what I would say. The creditors committee is not as adverse as you think potentially. And so what is that plan? Like put a viable plan together and let's bring it to the table and see what happens, is what I would say.
All right.
Like be part of the process.
I'm gonna write a proposal. I'm gonna write a plan because it's crucial to us, and if I have to, like whatever it takes, like we'll find a ways to keep it going, and if we end up landing it, then whoever was a TFL enterprise dev, we welcome you to come join us, and we'll find a place for you. Like we want to make sure this thing continues to thrive. It's a major piece of Backbone's expansion plan, and it is the ultimate unifier I have found in holding a community together. Like by far the best unifier of on-chain activity for NFT communities, for token launches, for token communities, the whole thing. We got to keep that together. We keep that together. I think we have we'll be in a different place in 6 months to a year. Totally different. It's a great product. I think you guys built a great product. I fucking love it.
Man, I appreciate it. And I want to keep it together too. Like that's part of like finding a home for all of these products was part of the reason why like the settlement instead of the appeal was so critical to me, because I am proud of what we built. I'm so proud of like, we were just scratching the surface with Station, and the plan was to combine it with Pulsar and create like the super app vision, except I think we actually had a head start on it. There were so many people trying to build the super app and we were so far ahead. We just needed to combine the two products, and that was underway. Enterprise, man, I'm so proud of like what Vlad and team built, because I really do think it was the first truly chain abstracted application where you literally don't even know you're bridging. You don't even know you're doing all these things. At least in Cosmos, it was the first one. I think it was. I could be wrong. But yeah, I would love for it to live on. I would love for like the legacy. Yeah, there's a lot of failure. What's happened with TFL, like that's where the people who are critical of me and I agree. But if the legacy could be that some of these things we built that were innovative live on, I'm really, it would be like a nice bow to tie on something that's been not optimal. And so, look, I think no one should feel like they're not part of the process. And however you want to get involved, you're involved. You know what I mean? So if we can put together a viable plan, it'll be, let's bring it to the table and see what happens. The last thing I can do is try to find homes and to see that everything that was built wasn't built for nothing.
I appreciate it. Thanks for all your sleepless nights, hard work. I know this wasn't easy to take over a $60 billion catastrophe, and we got some great products, and I'm excited to see where we can take this moving forward. Thank you for your time, Chris. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for all the support. Hey guys, I got to jump off. I've got another meeting here. Thanks for jumping on. Hopefully, I'll go through and look at questions. Maybe if there's a lot more. Steven, is there a lot more? I could do like maybe one more session.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of people requesting. We've got some questions in the chat as well. So we can have everybody. It depends on how you want to do it. We can have everybody put questions in the thing. You can go answer them later, or we could schedule another one. Whatever you're feeling.
Schedule another one. maybe later this week.
Well, so
I'll
we'll
connect
get
with you on
another.
that. We'll get something put out.
Okay, we'll get another one scheduled for later this week. So if you have questions, write them down. Bring them then.